Hello everybody, welcome back to Commonwealth. Flipper, you know, every year at this time, you start to get reports on Q4. People start to make comments and all these different ideas pop in everybody's head. You know, eBay's great, eBay's terrible, eBay's whatever. And so I find that the solicited comments, the ones you ask for, are the ones that give a better picture. And I keep up with this stuff like crazy. I'm gonna first start with how Q4 is going for me, and then we're literally gonna read your comments for a long time in between every sale here today and see if we can get a big picture on reselling and how Q4 is going this year. Let's take a look. I was going to start off with a sale, but I'm not. I'm going to read you my numbers here really quick before we start picking, but I had to show you this. I picked this up in Florida. It was so my wife right here. Look at this. Around here, the cats are in charge. A little vintage made in the USA t-shirt. It does have a few stains on it. I don't know if she'll wear it, if I need to get it out or whatever, but it just screams Blue Ridge Mama. All right, first comment, this one's coming from Instagram. Katie Reeds, who you've heard me talk about before. She sells those VHS notebooks over on Dividend. She's awesome. And Etsy is performing way more than the other platforms. Haven't heard that in a long time. People are way more interested in handmade and vintage than I expected this year. That's interesting. Let's knock one more out really quick. This one is from Thrifting Adventures, which I haven't talked to you in a long, long time. This channel goes back a long time. The Commonwealth Picker channel goes back even farther, and you were one of the very first supporters and commenters, and you make videos. I don't know if you still do or not. If you do, let me know. And Thrifting Adventures says it's going pretty good. And then Carrie, American Arbitrage, chimes in, and we're going to get to more serious comments. He says it's Q4 already. That is a perfect American Arbitrage comment, if you know Carrie. I think this is the right bag, but I'm going to dig for it. Yep, it was the right one. I'm trying to remember. I'm picking up so many Coach bags lately. I forget where I grab them and how much I pay. But this one has two little tags. Really nice condition. So for $75 plus shipping. It says it's a Mickey satchel. Denim. I don't know. 75 bucks though, I'll take it. My guess is I paid no more than 20 for it, is my guess. Oh, you know what? I know exactly what sale I bought that from. And I think I paid 15 bucks for it. Because there was a whole bunch of great stuff, and a lot of it was just too much for me to flip. Some of it wasn't, though, and you'll see that one coming up on the Commonwealth Picker channel. Let me read a few more of these here. A Frugal Nomadic Life says, really bad. I'm so surprised. I actually did better in October than I am now. I forgot to read my numbers. What am I doing? In all my years I've been reselling, November has always been fire for me, but not this year. That doesn't sound good. So just looking at the last 30 days, I'm doing okay. You know, I've got, if you look at all of Q4 up to this point, I think the last 30 is 12,000 in sales, but there's some caveats to this. It is up 7% over the previous month, but the caveats are this. I have been with Turner. I've had, when the two seasons meet up, Reagan's season starts, Turner's ends, you know, we have to split a little bit. And I've been taking Turner to tournaments and making sure all his stuff is taken care of. And I've had to take days off and shut the store down. I also went to Florida, shut the store down for 5 days. So there's been quite a few days where the store is open, but it's not really selling at a huge margin. And there was 1 week that was just amazing, but you can see my chart just going up and down based on me being able to actually have the store open or not. So for me, I'm pretty happy so far with the numbers considering those things right there. I would have to dig into the numbers year over year and then remember how much time I was missing last year and all that. But I would say overall my feeling of this is a net plus over last year's Q4, but I don't think it's like unbelievably better. We're going to read some other comments, pick some more items. This is a Sheba little brat doll. I think I bought this in a bunch of things I bought over on Dibs. I think I got these from FleetCon, but I cannot remember exactly. And that one sold for $17.95 plus shipping. They are kind of cool looking. Almost look like they're caveman almost, but little brats made in Japan. 18 bucks plus shipping. Here's a comment from Facebook. I'm reading off of Instagram and Facebook here, as opposed to reading off of the comments in here, because I never solicited it. in the comments below. This one comes from Guy W. Davis. Absolutely amazing, he says. I'm trying to post 10 to 20 items a day, and it's paying great dividends. Okay. Matt Granger says, can't say started out fire, but I did take 3 weeks off. So, yeah, that makes a big difference for sure. Vicky says, yes, slower this year, but next year should be great. The next comment's kind of cool. I see a chart in there, so I can't wait to read that one. That's a Facebook comment. I pulled this hat out of 2 bags full of hats, and I paid 20 bucks for all of them. There was a ton of not great hats in there, but there was some good ones. This one was in there, $17.95 plus shipping for the USS South Carolina hat. All right, looking at this chart here, Kevin says tracking it all, and he's got the calendar up there and how many he's listing per day, and it looks like either sales numbers, how much you're selling, or how much is the dollar amount for your sales that you've listed that day. And so I can't really discern that. You didn't say it in there, but good for you. I think keeping track. I don't keep track of that stuff. It's normally the kind of thing I would do, to be honest with you. But to me, it's burning a little bit of time that I'm just so desperately holding on to. And I work pretty hard, you know. I'm pretty disciplined, so I don't have to do that. But man, that kind of stuff is good. How many of y'all do that? How many of y'all keep a chart of what you're doing every day? How many things you're listing for? Or here's a better question. And I'd also say, I want to know your opinion on this question down below today. How is Q4 going for you? And maybe even add in, you know, how much effort you've been putting into it. Just, you know, if you say, oh, it's terrible, but I haven't been working, that makes a big difference, right? Or if you say, I've been working my fingers to the bone and I can't make a sale, then that's an issue. But leave those in the comments below. But I'm also curious, how many of y'all keep track on a calendar, a piece of paper, in your phone, in a spreadsheet, what you're doing every single day? I think looking at the raw numbers year over year only tells half the story. If last year in Q3 you were working your fingers to the bone, you can see all that data and you saw the results in Q4. And then this year you don't have that data, or if you have that data and it shows you were doing less listings or less ASP or whatever it is. And then, you know, it's not necessarily comparing apples to apples. So Kevin says, tracking it all, making my goals for the last few months. So he says it's going okay. Amy says, not going well in Canada. Let's see if I can read this here. She says, postal strike here in Canada. All is at a standstill. And I can understand that. I need to do a little bit of research on that strike up there. You may be hearing things. Of course, this is filmed before you're seeing it, so hopefully there's progress. Let's see here. Anecdotal. This Anecdotal is pretty cool. Sold for $25.99 plus shipping. There's a couple of fairly new folks here. This one is from Edmund. Really well for me. I'm a part-timer. Actually, he didn't say he was new. He says he's a part-timer and it's going well so far. Leah says I'm doing much better. This is my 1-year anniversary from starting eBay, and I've learned a bunch. Nikki says, hoping it gets better. I'm not complaining, but I think eBay is just slow sometimes. Dean says it was going great at the beginning and then last week pretty slow. This might be the last Q4 I get to enjoy as a reseller, because I may not be here because I bought these Hooters calendars because they were such a good deal and there was multi-quantity. They're all exactly the same and I'm like, oh boy, my wife might not let me sell anymore. We'll see. 2020 Hooters calendars. These I picked up for like $4 a piece or something like that. I believe there was 9 of them. So is that right? I'm trying to remember. I don't think that's exactly right. What did I pay? 40 bucks? I think I paid 40 bucks for 9. So what is that? Yeah. So we'll say 4 something, right? Sold this one for $24.95 plus shipping, and there's 8 more, 1 listing. Not huge money, but decent money times 9. Read a couple more from Instagram. Antiques plus 1. Definitely not like last year for us. Hopefully after Thanksgiving, people will be focused more on Christmas. Best year, this is from Kylie Carvin. Best I've had since COVID shutdowns. Need an Enema Man still, though. At Thrift Boss on YouTube. Yeah, you got your shout out in there, too. Well, yeah, hey. Enema Man are over on CommonwealthPicker.com. You can go check them out over there. The Enema Man, we do auctions often here. And I'll need to update. Maybe by the end of this video, we'll do an update on some of the charity stuff. Bomb Chips says, been a good year and picking is up a bit during the last month. No complaints for me. Hey, I want to mention one thing. I don't know if anybody else, I haven't heard this from anybody else. Maybe it was just me, but My sales on the days leading up to the election, right during that time period, the day of the election, the day after the election, were pretty bad. And then they shot up. I'm not saying it's because of the election. What I'm saying is this isn't your typical Q4. A lot of times in Q4, we don't have these political seasons at this kind of height, every 4 years, obviously, the presidential election. And, my YouTube videos, you can see that decline. Everybody's glued to the politics. Not everybody, but a lot of folks are. And you just don't see that activity. So maybe that's delayed some of the buying a little bit because people's eyeballs are paying attention to all that stuff when it's going down. But I don't know. Tell me what you think. Pam over on Facebook says it's slower than normal for her. And Jennifer says it's picking up for her. I don't always pick these up because the price never seems to be right. But when you see something like that sitting on a lonely table for $1, you grab it. And this one, so I think it's over $17, but I'm not sure. Yep, $16.95 for that one. And, you got to check condition. It was okay. I'm like, for $1? Sure. $16.95 plus shipping. Otis says the last six weeks have been great. And the Handy Tin Man says picking up, but that's for my own motivation being better personally. So he's saying it's picking up, but it's really not because of eBay or what people are doing. It's because he's doing more. Cal says, really good. I'm still fairly new at this, and I'm learning a ton each day. Yeah, I went in to get this cup, but I just have to show you this cat. What are you doing, Pepper? Huh? I know you love boxes, but that one seems a little small for you. What do you think? I mistakenly said on the last video that we only had 2 of these left, and there was actually 4. So Black Rifle Coffee Company Grenade Mug, $20.95 plus shipping. Paid $5 for tons of these. And this was the lowest seller at $21. You know that box? Otis says the last 6 weeks have been great. Linda says a lot slower, except for vintage Christmas, decor, and some collectibles. Alexa says much better. I've had a flurry of sales. Very good. Matthew Miles picking up. Here's an interesting one. Went to dynamic, uncapped, promoted listings and sales exploded on eBay. I would hope so, because that's a lot of money. Congratulations. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, man, that's a risk, I guess. And it looks like it's paying off for you. Etsy is ripping along. There's a second Etsy comment right there. This is the season for Etsy, I would think. And we're getting nearly daily sales on Mercari and Depop. Man, you're killing it. If you're getting sales on Depop, you're really killing it. Because, man, that was just dead for me the last time. I mean, it's been a little while. But Mercari as well. So, very good. Hey, speaking of Mercari, you know me. Can't ever miss an opportunity to shout something out. My reseller, Genie, who you hear me talk about a lot. We'll talk about it as tax season gets closer. Everybody hates to talk about taxes. But they added an application for Mercari. So if you are using My Reseller Genie, they now have Mercari. You might got to get one of the more expensive plans to add all these other things in. But man, does it make it easy. And that link is always down there. If you're interested, scared about taxes, all that, you need help like me because your brain doesn't work like normal people. My Reseller Genie is awesome. Use that link. You can use code Commonwealth, of course, for 15% off. So they're amazing, folks. We'll talk about it later. I want to enjoy Q4 and not talk about taxes. Carolyn over on Facebook says it's so bad for her, she just decided to just shut her eBay store down after 24 years. Sold some Carhartt tees. These are the lowest end of the Carhartts for me. And I'm still making a little bit of money on these. So these sold for $14 and I'm into them for about $3 a piece. So there's a little bit of money. This is not something I would buy to sell, except for I bought it in a giant lot and there was a lot of high-end stuff in there. Vintage Fresh says it picked up the last couple of weeks. And Alba Hernandez over here says, I must be doing something wrong. I am new to eBay and I posted items and have not made any sales. What should I do to generate sales? Well, Alba, maybe folks can leave comments for you down below, but this is a really tough question to answer without having more information, without even seeing your listings. You know, like I posted items. Like, did you post 5? Because, I mean, that's not a lot. And you're not going to probably get sales unless you've done it all correctly and you've put that price point right at the sweet spot for a new seller, which to me is maybe, I don't know, 15 to 20% below the bottom. You don't want to be anywhere near the top as a new seller. But you also don't want to be under, you don't want to be the lowest listed item either, unless it's a really high sell-through rate item. And I've said this before and people criticize me for it, but let me tell you, I think it's true. Sometimes having a rock bottom price makes people very skeptical about buying something. So I don't know how many, I have 2,100 items that listed that didn't sell today. So, I have a bunch of sales, but my point is, I think people's assumptions of what eBay does or what you can do on eBay are really not entirely accurate if you've never done it before, unless you know going in. So there's going to be a lot of items that don't sell or that take a long time if you're listing low sell-through rate items, if you're listing items that aren't really, things people want. And then the combination, a lot of new sellers do calculated shipping, and then they put their prices, they don't comp correctly. They might not even be looking at sold comps. And so a combination of a high price and calculated shipping can be very restrictive on sales, and especially for a new seller. So there's a few little answers for you. It may not apply to you, but that's my take when I get a generic question like that. Sorry. Chris says he's a tool seller, and because of that, he doesn't always get great sales in Q4. Matter of fact, he thinks they go down every Q4 for him, and that makes sense. People only have so much extra money. Depends on what you want to buy, and you got to buy gifts for kids or whatever. So I do think that really matters when people say stuff like that. So thanks for chiming in with that. Some Nike Air Max right there. They're not perfect. See that issue right there on them, but I paid $5 and they sold for $40 plus shipping. Terry says very, very slow. She says September and October, which October is part of Q4, were 10 times better than November's been. Lisa, pretty slow so far. In all fairness, I haven't been listing much. Here's a jersey I didn't know much about. Phoenix Suns. I guess it's Phoenix Suns, but it's basketball. I think it's a practice jersey. It's got a little QR code thing in the bottom right there. I think it may have been some kind of practice jersey. And it sold for good money, $37.95 plus shipping. Here's one from Paul. He says, I've been selling on eBay since 1998. I've been doing it 25 years, so you got me beat. Sales are down about 60%, he says. I mostly blame the outrageous shipping costs established by the post office. So, I don't know. I have a slightly different take because, yeah, over time, shipping costs have gone up. There's no doubt about it. I mean, just regular inflation plus the big bump in inflation we had, that stuff's going to go up, labor costs and whatever. It just happens. But I have found lately that, Ground Advantage keeps creeping up with these increases for Q4 and whatever, but it's still, do you remember the days where it was, over 16 ounces and then you're shipping everything priority, and some of that stuff could get crazy expensive. And so for a lot of my items I'm shipping out, I'm happy with the changes that they've made, not the incremental upticks and whatever, but the structural changes. And I stopped shipping FedEx because of all the issues they've had, and I started doing it again. I don't know about you guys, but man, FedEx has been beating people like crazy lately. It's worth gambling, and in my opinion, to see if they've fixed all the other problems that they've had and the upcharges and whatever. A lot of people just said, nope, no more, I'm not doing it. Some people say that about UPS. But the shipping, well, let's just say this, a lot better in Canada. All right, y'all, Turner's got a gift here and a little Commonwealth comedy. Is that HS or HG? This is a seller on Dibdit, and I don't remember your name. I think I threw away the package it came in, but Turner was super excited before I turned the camera on. Houston Oilers. You're not really an Oilers fan, but you are a Titans fan, and he really liked that card of Warren Moon. Why did you like it?
The moon's right.
Because it's got the moon behind him. It's pretty cool, and a vintage Houston Oilers pennant. That's really, really nice of them. So, would you say thank you?
Thank you.
Would you give us some Commonwealth comedy?
Where do hungry football players play?
Where do hungry football players play? I don't know.
In the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl. Very good.
Bye.
Hey, y'all, this is actually a little bit later, which might explain why everything is packed and shipped. And I just got off the phone with a buddy of mine, and I just said, hey, I'm going to ask you the same question we're talking about today. I'm going to give you his answer. This is a Schlage lock, and these are hit and miss. I did really, really well on a bunch that I bought couple of years ago, and even that lot had a bunch of stuff that just never sold, and we finally just got rid of it. This one sold for $20 plus shipping. So my buddy Pinjo is now officially full-time. He's always been well, he's always been part-time, but he's really ramped it up. The job, the extra income that he had, he no longer has anymore. It wasn't a huge income, but he's doing it full-time. And I said, hey, how are sales for you? He's like, I don't know. He's like, this week was insane. He's like, it's been ramping up. I've been listing like crazy, and I'm getting $500 days. So congrats to you, Joey. So there's one plus for Q4. And he's not really a Q4 type seller. I just saw an Anecdotal and realized earlier, I didn't tell you this, I brought the wrong Anecdotal out. So in case you're looking at that, some people like to look at the store. There's always a link below, by the way. And it is an EPN link, so if you ever want to go on and buy something, I do this for other folks who have EPN links. If you ever want to go on and buy something, find a creator or a friend, or you could have one yourself, and have them go through that link and buy something that they were already going to buy, and they get some money. People do that for me all the time, so I appreciate it. We're going to get back to some more comments. Let me pick one more thing. All right, Reagan's got some sales. She has to ship these tonight, actually, at commonwealthpicker.com. What do you got?
Barry got an ornament, and Kimberly and Mary got a black light.
What are you laughing at?
Because I almost forgot.
What are you doing back there?
Hi, Joe.
All right, so thank you, Reagan. We have 4 more ornaments listed on commonwealthpicker.com, and I've saved some for dibdit.com. So, all right, what do you got?
Bye, and don't forget your stickers at commonwealthpicker.com.
Still can't find the clipboard, y'all.
Here.
We might have to. Thank you. Pepper's waiting outside my door here. Sold another one of these Enron shirts. This is a polo, made in the USA. Enron tennis polo shirts, $20 plus shipping. Jay reports back on Q4. He says it's been great both online and in my antique booth. So I'm out of the antique booth business. I know there's a lot of people who kill it, just not my gig, unfortunately. I mean, I kind of enjoyed it, but it's a lot of work. So let's see, I have one on Facebook that I wanted to read. Here it is, 7 Stone SS. I had a surprisingly busy September after an abysmal summer. Then October was my best month ever. Okay, starting on October 31st, there was just a week-long straight halt in sales. It seemed like the last week has been back to normal, but a ton of cancellations and more returns this month than the entire year in 2023. That's not a good sign. Had to carry these in without the camera in my hand because they're too heavy. It's not often I get raked over the coals both ways on a picker video, but I did when I bought these. Some people told me, you know, I can't believe you paid so little for those, you know, you try to negotiate them down. And then some people are like, why would you pick those up? They're such a pain in the butt. It's not worth your time. So both of them, I got both ends of the equation on these encyclopedias, Compton's pictured encyclopedias. They were in good shape. I like the design on the outside. People like to use these for decoration, and they like to use them depending on what they're using them for. I can't remember it exactly, but I think they wanted 20 bucks, and I think I offered 10, and they said 15. I think, and I buy these sets all the time, so I may have it a little bit backwards, but I do remember people being critical. Like, you know, if you know they're worth 100, you know, why did you negotiate down? It's because they're a pain in the butt, and sometimes they're not very quick sellers. These happen to sell fairly quickly, thank goodness, for $100 plus shipping. Tara says, just starting to pick up now. I've been selling vintage Christmas mostly. Makes sense. Jeremiah says, Q3 was far better. Never thought I'd say that. And Adit says, best quarter so far ever. So, you know, you've got all kinds of different comments in here all over the place. And I think that that's a message that a lot of people need to hear. That what is going on with you specifically doesn't necessarily, it's too anecdotal. That's why I'm reading tons of these. And, you know, we get in these things in our head like eBay is, you know, this is the problem, or I'm the problem, or this platform is the problem. Sometimes it just ebbs and flows. And I'm happy for all the folks out there selling well right now. And I hope for everybody else that sales pick up. Haven't had a ton of viewer sales lately. Sold one of these earlier in the video. Now we are officially down to 2. Black Rifle Coffee Company grenade mug. It's getting too chilly to keep this door open. Plus Pepper snuck in. And this one went to Rachel. She says, always love the channels. Plural. She made sure she put plural. Commonwealth Picker. Commonwealth Flipper. If you're watching this one and never seen that one, go check it out. Commonwealth Picker YouTube channel. That's the picking channel. This is the flipping channel. If you don't mind, take a second and subscribe. We'd appreciate that greatly. Hit that alarm bell and all that stuff. And I'm excited to buy this as a Christmas present for my son. Thanks for the great, wholesome content. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, Rachel. Hope he enjoys it. You know, I turned the camera off after that, and I thought, you know what? I know we've done some giveaways here. I want to announce a winner for a giveaway and then start a whole new train of giveaways. It's so unbelievable how generous you guys are to me and my family. And I want to give back a little bit. Obviously, can't do that much, you know, for everybody that watches, but we're trying to do a few things. This is for the Let There Be Light comment a few videos ago. I don't know where I put those, but the deformable lights. We were giving one of those away. And Joseph, you've sent me an email at commonwealthpicker@gmail.com. Joseph16W. You are the winner of that. And I'm excited about this. I order my tape from Joel at American Bubble Boy, my go-to tape. And they have all kinds of new tape products and different sizes and all kinds of stuff now. And I just ordered some, and I said, hey, Joel, I pay for mine, by the way. I do use my code because I get 5% off. Hope that's okay, Joel. But I never ask for free stuff from Joel unless it's for somebody else. And so I've got my tape, and he sent me codes so that I can give away tape every show, probably through the rest of Q4. That's how many codes he sent me. And this is just, it's a 4-pack. So we're going to give away a 4-pack of, it looks like this tape, 2.7 performance grade 60-yard packaging tape. Let me see if that's what I buy. I buy the 3-inch. I don't know if it's 2-inch he's giving away or 3-inch, but this is 2.7 inches. This is a 110-yard roll. This is performance grade, so it's not exactly the same. I think it's a 2-inch one, but still, it's free tape. So if you put Joel, why don't you put Joel in the comments below? Because he sent this to us from, like I said, American Bubble Boy. You can use that link below. My go-to tape, you can go to that as well. But it's all going through American Bubble Boy. And you can use code Commonwealth for 5% off of your non-bubble wrap purchases. You can go through the link and get the bubble wrap, but you don't get to use the code. He doesn't. He says, I got such a tiny margin on bubble. So, at any rate, you can go over there and check that out. Or you can just put Joel down, or how about this? I don't know, I keep changing stuff. Put Joel or Stuck on You. I like that song. What is it, Lionel Richie? Isn't that what it's called, Stuck on You? And you can be entered in to win a 4-pack of tape. And then you'll send me an email if you get them. We're going to give away on every episode for like the next, I don't know, how many codes are there? Let me count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's like 25 things. 25 codes on here. So we're going to be able to give away 25 4-packs. We'll do it. How long is that? 8 shows. It's like 3 months worth of giveaways. See if I can remember to do it. And then check the email and then give you the code. And then you can go there, put in the code, and they'll ship it to you for free. So that's cool. Thank you, Joel from American Bubble Boy. So another one of the Rockwell Freedom from Want Christmas dinners. I just love the faces. I mean, look at the face. Look at that. It's just awesome stuff. Even these down here. This guy's looking at the camera. And those sell for $9.95 plus shipping. I'm into them for pennies. And I sold a Christmas necktie. I bought a bunch of ties lately in a box. A big box of ties. And I don't know anything about ties. I just picked 2 out that I thought might be good to sell on eBay. And there's probably a ton in there that are good to sell on eBay. And then sold the rest of the box off on shopcommons.net. And then this was one we picked out. It's just a Christmas tree tie. I thought maybe somebody would buy it. And they did. $12.95 plus shipping. I don't even remember the brand name on it. But it was really nice condition. It's the kind of thing I thought maybe a viewer would like. And look, Bradley bought it. Crosley Field. So we appreciate you very much. You buy often. So thank you. He says, Merry Christmas to you and your family. Thank you, Bradley. Joe says sales for him are above average, but it's also about what you're selling. I do sports jerseys and vintage sports apparel, so NFL, NBA, and NHL have all kicked in, so he's not surprised. There's no doubt. Matter of fact, it's not even the quarters that make the difference as much as it is what I have just bought, what I am currently listing. If I have a bunch of great stuff that I just sourced, my sales are going to go up, no matter what quarter it is. So that may be quite a bit of what's going on as well. Is there anybody who's really sourced some awesome stuff and got it all listed and nothing sells? I don't hear that very often. I'm sure somebody will chime in with that, though. I say viewer sales haven't had a ton of viewer sales lately, and then I rattle off 3 in a row. Here's the 3rd one. And they haven't been all that much lately, but they certainly were right here in a row. So thank you to Teresa We appreciate it. She says, so thrilled to find this in my favorite colors. Thank you. You must like James Taylor. Deep greens and blues are the colors I choose. Won't you let me go down in my dreams? I love that song. Rockabye Sweet Baby James. $14.95 plus shipping. Sue says there's been a little bump. Thankfully, it's not my main gig. Perry says slow, but I am down on inventory, so I understand. All right, y'all. I went in and got some stuff out of the attic, but a little stray cat came in here. That's not a stray. It was a stray. What are you doing? Okay, sold the last. I lost him. There he is. I don't like him back there. Sold the last of the Nightmare Before Christmas Jumbo Giant plush here. Well, this is the last of it. 3 of these have sold, and I think we have 4. So I just figured I'd bring them all down. Come on out of there. Paid $7 a piece. I hear Turner. Paid $7 a piece for these guys. Maybe I'll get Turner to help me, since I got one hand. Come on in. I need your help, buddy. I need you first to go back there and get that cat. Right there, you see it? I don't want him back there. Yeah, get that cat. And then if I can't get this out beforehand, there it is. Cindy Lou Who, I got it. We sold 2 of these today. So I'm gonna keep this in here. Thank you, bud. These sold for $41 and change plus shipping. We paid $7, and we bought a bunch of all of the types, and we had bags and bags and bags of these stuffed upstairs. We sold a lot last year, a few in the off season, and now it's time to sell them. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna put 30% off on them because they were listed for a bunch, and it worked. Got 3 sales in a day. I'm not shipping one of them out today, though. I don't think, just 2. Nikki says she's hoping it gets better. David says pretty freaking great. Tina says sales have picked up a little bit, but still not anywhere near where I've been in the past. So anyway, you can see the mix here. Turner's out there walking the dog. He's been running away. Looks like he's going to the bathroom. Since he's been running away lately, we don't let him run around by himself. So Ralph Lauren Polo. This is one of the oldest listings in my store, and it had a few issues, so it just never sold. So we put on 30% off, sold for $8.40 plus shipping, but at least it's gone. And this is a Vikings jersey. You know, it's not a jersey. It's an old sweater. Vintage sweater. No tag. At least not there. But this thing is awesome looking. Stitched. No comps for it. So I'm like, I don't know how to sell this thing. Not logo, but no brand name on it. So I'm like, this thing is cool. And it is clearly old. And you can just tell with that collar right there. It just looks really high quality. So I'm like, you know what? Here, there you go. There's a little logo, but I couldn't figure it out. At any rate, that sold for $35 plus shipping. So don't forget to put, what did I say, Joel down below. I think it's what I put. Or Stuck on You, or either one down there. We'll come up with something different for everyone. And I want to read one last thing. Let me show you this. I put a little poll out on Instagram. How is Q4 treating you so far? So worst ever, 5%. Great, 25%. Good, 37%. Not so good, 32%. So, you know, the bad side of the equation here, we're looking at 37%. So, yeah, it's not too bad. I guess it's a fairly positive message from you guys back here. And this kind of mirrors what I've been hearing. And, of course, sometimes that's colored by expectations of Q4. I know I've had Q4s in the past where I couldn't even sit down. Stuff was selling so fast. And I've had Q4s in the past where nothing was selling. I'm like, it's supposed to be Q4. And we're kind of in between those right now. So thank y'all for watching, and I can't wait to see you next time.
I can't tell if it's an M, a V.
Can't you read?
No. It looks like menu. What is it? Is it a V?
It's Nancy.
Oh,
clear as day. Clear as day.
It kind of looks like an M, too. Okay.